Welcome to Leaving CrazyTown with Finn and Sarah. Sarah, what are we going to talk about today?
Hi, everyone.
Notice how she just laughs the minute I introduce them.
I don't know. I love Finn and I love doing the channel. And we're going to talk about a really great topic today.
Great topic.
Denial.
Denial.
Yeah. And denial is huge in addiction and in co-crazy behavior. Okay. Because, well, we all know that denial is the quintessential component of addiction, which means
do we know?
We do know that because people live and die being alcoholics and addicts and never really get it. So what we're going to talk about today is how do you go from denial to just starting to get some awareness of what's happening? And the trouble is denial protects us. Right? It protects us from the truth. So if I'm, say, married to an alcoholic woman and I deny that she's an alcoholic, I don't have to do anything. If I'm in a bad marriage and I deny that it's bad, don't need to do anything. If I'm in some co-crazy, my boss is abusive to me and I'm in this co-crazy dynamic, I don't have to look for another job because I can just stay in denial. So it protects us to a certain degree, but it also can kill us because if we deny we're a substance abuser or we're shooting heroin every day, we're going to, not have a good ending. So we're going to talk about the process of finding some awareness out of your denial. And Finn, are you going into a man moment? Sorry, we call them man moments, but there's probably woman moments too, but sometimes Finn just, okay.
No. Oh, so denial. All right. Yeah. My thoughts on denial are,
we were talking about the all or nothing too, that sometimes
the all or nothing is key. So I'll just give a little example, maybe.
Yeah. Give an example.
When I was at a meditation retreat, I got calm and there was a lot of downtime. And at one point, what rose up in me is I need to leave my job.
Right. Huge action.
That was the thought. I need to leave my job. I didn't really.
People will say, I need to leave my marriage or I need like this. And then you go back into denial because it seems too big. All right. Sorry to interrupt.
So no, it's okay. Yeah. So I had known that, I enjoy doing the videos with Sarah and we have fun. I love helping people and I want to have fun. Like that's all I want. And at the time when this feeling was coming up, it had been months where I knew work wasn't fun. And I would find myself, I like to be a positive person. And I would find myself complaining in my head and wanting to tell someone like, oh, I have to work today or, oh, I have to do this. And I stopped because I'm like, no, I don't want to have a negative attitude about work because I got to go to work, but I still wasn't allowing this feeling to come up. So it hits me I don't know, a month or two ago, I need to leave my job. Like, because I wasn't happy. I want to be happy, So right away I went into panic. And so what happens for me when I have an awareness, and of course I go from months of ignoring the fact that I really wasn't happy with my job.
Perfect.
To I have to leave my job. So I go right up here and I'm like, all right, I'm doing finances in my head. I'm figuring out what's my plan. How am I going to survive my health insurance, whatever. And the thing is, I've enjoyed my job at times. So I finally had to say to myself, wait, you don't have to do anything. You're having an awareness that you're not very happy with your job right now. So I just let it ride. I became aware that I wasn't happy.
Started to notice how you felt.
But the thing is, I was aware. Let's be honest. I was aware all along that I wasn't happy, but I kept telling myself, like, you shouldn't feel that way. And then I'd override it with all the positives of my job.
So you're denying your feelings, though.
You're right. Yeah. So I was in a state of denial because I didn't want to act.
Yes.
So what I've been learning over time is I don't have to say, like, I'm not very happy with my job right now. I need to leave it.
Right.
I could actually pause and accept that I'm not really happy with my job and face it like, why?
Right.
What is it? What is it about my job? So I kept telling myself, like, it's okay. even though you have to leave your job. I know I have to leave my job because that's my solution, right? There's a pain over there. Cut that piece of the body off and move on. There's no like, maybe you could eat better. There's no minor adjustment. It's going to be lop it off, move on. So I let it ride, and I was just becoming aware of how I was feeling about it. And it hit me that what I want to be doing is helping people. What I want to be doing is working on this stuff. And I can do that at work. And I have been for years, but what happens is I forget and I get caught up in just the task at work. I don't get involved in my relationships at work because we work from home now. So I can completely isolate and just write and study law and do whatever. It's boring. It's not boring when it's like puzzle, but when it's all I feel like I have to do and it's taking up my time, it doesn't fulfill me.
Got it.
So I became aware, like, wait, how can you change? So I've been really working at being present for people when I'm in a meeting, being authentic, listening to other people, talking to taxpayers when I talk to them, like talking to them, not just spouting, what the law is or whatever. And I'm finding that I'm far more happy with my job. I've been enjoying it. I'm excited about it again. So I didn't need to leave my job.
Yes.
I needed to feel what I was feeling about it to see what was really going on.
What the truth about it was, and take little steps, which is what you did.
Yeah. I don't want the truth, because to me, the truth with my black and white thinking is I need to make a massive change.
Yes.
And that's not true. So I'm still working at coming off the black and white thinking. And when it's in my personal life and the idea of like, oh my God, I'm not happy with my job, I need to leave it. That's an extreme response.
But this is so important for the channel because it's so important for our audience, because denial is such a huge part of codependency and addiction. And it's because the fear is I'm going to have to take some huge action. So,
and we might need to
eventually,
but start with feeling it, right?
Start with just getting aware and saying to yourself, I used to say to clients a lot, someone would come in and they'd say, I need to get a divorce. Like my whatever. They'd be so freaked out that I got sober now. And all of a sudden I don't even know this person who I'm living with. And I would make some suggestions. I'd say, look, you can either, sometimes separating for maybe a couple of months and saying, let's take a break from each other and then see if we're right for each other. And very often people would separate for a couple of months and one of two things would happen. They'd either say, you know what, we really love each other. We want to be in this relationship. Let's try to work it out. Or it was very clear that we weren't meant for each other. But you don't have to go to this extreme response because it scares people. So we're going to suggest to people to think about, is there something in your life that is scaring you right now, that you're like trying not to think about, right? I'll tell you what it was for me a little while ago, okay? I, for the most part, try not to eat sugar and flour, okay? And I will say for the most part, okay? But intermittently I get into these kind of, I'll start buying Weight Watchers fudgicles, and then the next thing you know, I'm buying this. And then, so over the holidays, I had it was a very slippery slope for me. And, my refrigerator is basically full of 3 kinds of ice cream and, which I'm sure people can relate to. But what's starting to happen to me is I'm not sleeping. And I'm thinking, why aren't I sleeping? Well, in the past, I know that sugar keeps me up at night. Okay. But I'm pretending it's all these other things. I'm like, turn off your phone at night.
God forbid we give up the ice cream.
I definitely have an ice cream thing, and you guys will hear about this forever. And I know those of you who have struggled with food issues will be discussing those often. So finally, it really lands for me after 3 days of not sleeping. Sarah, look, you got to get off the Skinny Cow Weight Watchers, whatever they are, the ice cream sandwiches. And it just kind of felt very peaceful to me. Like, look, you want to get some sleep, one day at a time, throw them away, whatever. And I got into reality, but it took kind of saying to myself, look, don't freak out about it. Have sugar tomorrow, have sugar a month from now, but let's just get back and get a regular sleep schedule, get rid of the ice cream in your freezer. So it was okay to come out of the denial, but sometimes it's just scary. So think about this. If there's something you're ignoring or you're scared to look at, think of one tiny step you can take, one tiny step towards reality. Doesn't mean you have to get a divorce. Doesn't mean you have to get rid of all the Ben & Jerry's from your freezer.
And for me, creating spaciousness around being where I'm at.
Yes.
And being okay with it. We always talk about if you notice you're doing something or you have a codependent behavior, you're in some co-crazy activity, it's okay.
Just notice it.
Awareness is key.
Awareness.
And sometimes if you can even get a sense of curiosity.
Yes.
What is this that's happening for me?
Great
Just
word.
being curious about it.
Yes.
And spacious with yourself. Then let the truth rise up. You don't have to do anything.
It's not about being good or bad or right or wrong or, oh, I'm such a jerk. No, it's none of that. You know, Pema Chödrön always says, start where you are. Start where you are, people.
Yeah.
We're leaving CrazyTown.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Fasten your seatbelt.